fucking hate work. I'm I don't hate work, but to me, work is not fun, and it's because the majority of us are working for money, and we're not working because we're passionate about it. I love working with kids. It's a big passion of mine. I don't enjoy the behind the scenes that goes on with working with students, but I really hate work. I really hate the work that goes into just doing what I love to do. However, I am the type of person that believes if you're going to work, you're going to play hard. And if you're not going to work, then you're not going to play. So for me, if I'm not putting my best foot forward every day at work, if I'm not giving my 100%, then I don't deserve to go out there and play around. But there needs to be a balance. You can't be all about work. Your whole life can't be your 9 to 5, your 4 to 12, your overnight. Doesn't matter what you're doing, you have to have some fun. You need to go out with your friends. You need to go have a drink. You need to go smoke some hookah. You need to go out on a date. You need to have sex. You need to do something that's going to balance out the stress that comes with work. Because no matter what you do, you're going to find stress in your job. So go out and turn up, I'm telling you.
Okay, so work and play, they are one and the same. They are one and the same, work and play. Work should not feel like work and play should not feel like play. And if you do see them as two separate things, you are dividing up your life and not getting the full max out experience that you could do. Work is a term for what you're most passionate about. That's how I see work. You know, when you get up every morning and you decide, I'm going to dedicate my precious life, my precious time to a set experience, that experience needs to be passionate. That experience needs to be joy-filled. That experience needs to be contributing. That experience should leave you better in the afternoon than you woke up in the morning. So for me, I believe work is play. I don't separate the two. I don't see them as distinctly different. I love the people I work with. I love my team that I lead. I love my colleagues. I have fun. I laugh a lot, you know, when I go to work. It's work in the sense that it's somewhere I show up to every day, but it is fun. I'm in education, and I'm really passionate about making sure that children get what they deserve because they deserve the best. And I want to know that my team is positioned to just be extraordinary for them. So we work together to make that happen. I may be the leader. I'm the person who they would call if the bad news happens. But my team is my everything. And connecting with my team members, my cabinet, connecting with the colleagues who I am working on behalf of, working with school principals and their superintendents, it's a joy. And so I don't consider work. I have to go to work now. Oh, it's so terrible. And there are times I know where you may take on jobs because, hey, you know, I gotta eat, and I'm on that work to eat plan. So you want to make sure that you show up and you go to work. But really, in the long run, whatever you work towards, it really should be a pleasure. It really should be a joy. Because the other thing is, when you have that pleasure, when you have that joy, other people benefit. The world gets to be a better place because you are in a better place. And seeing work as play, seeing work as fun. If you think about children and how they play, two kids coming together who do not know each other will run around a park together. They will go down the slides together, and when the play moment is over, the play date is over, they go their separate ways and they've had their fun. I wish more adults would show up that way. Chase your colleague around the office. I'm just joking. You don't have to chase your colleague around the office, but you should connect with your colleague, right? It's going down the slide together. It's knowing that, we've got this work to do that we said we wanted to do. Because at one point, you did interview for this job. At one point, you thought you needed this job. So really standing up and finding that, fun in it and connecting to one another. Because that's what it's all about, right? I believe that life is about communication and relationships. And if you don't have those two things, you are missing out on the fun. So, don't see the difference between work and play. Know that they are one and the same. And that if you are passionate about your life, you will have no divide between those two.
So I love my job. I get to teach some amazing young women at an all-girls school in Brooklyn called Bella. And so I spend a lot of time working. I work, even when I'm not at work, I'm working because working is, for me, is like figuring out how to make them like amazing women who will have like amazing lives when they get older. But playtime is playtime. And when I'm not at work nowadays, I get to spend time reading. I get to spend time hanging out with friends. Back in the day, you would see me working until like 3 o'clock in the morning. Not anymore. It's not worth it.
Work and play, or as some say, work and play. Work and play are often seen as two different things. To some extent, I'd say for some, it depends on the person. Some people have to make that distinction between work and play so that way they can have what is seen as a balance in their life, especially if the particular work that they're doing, their career or profession, is not particularly what brings them the main source of joy in their life. Whereas some people like to see those two things, work and play, as kind of like the same thing. For me, I tend to like the whole seesaw balance model. So I feel like you can't have one without the other. In order to be able to, play as often as you'd like to, there comes a point where, you have to kind of like buckle down and get to work. And with work, you can work hours upon hours upon hours. Sometimes I work 80 hours a week. And it's really easy to kind of get tunnel vision and consumed in that mindset. But, with that, like, you have to do what you want to do in terms of like what fun is responsibly. I used to say that I only had indulgences and vices, and then I had dreams. And in the middle of that, there are passions. And I feel like passions are the things that you love to do that you're doing. And that's where the play part comes in for me. So they have the potential. Work and play could always be the same thing for some people. And for some, they need to have that duality in order to have that balance in life.
What is it? All work and no play makes Johnny a dull boy. So remember that at some point you need recreation, you need air, you need water, you need to enjoy yourself. So have a drink from time to time. Go frolic in the meadows, party, enjoy yourself. Because work will bog you down.